just yesterday, talking about political sphere in Nigeria, a new political party was announced called Rescue Nigeria Project RMP. Now, the party has some prominent Nigerians in it, like Professor Patutomi, Donald Duke, Atahiru Jega, amongst others. Now, Chukuma, do you think with this quality of people, they're well equipped to challenge the opposition parties?
I would say yes and no. Everything all depends on what is their lay-down strategy between now and 2023. And when I talk about lay-down strategy, building structure requires a lot of financial investment. They will need to invest into strategic communication to make people believe in their ideals, ideologies, in their manifestos, whatever thing what the party want to put out there. You need like lots of funding. You need funding to mobilize people. You need funding to rent or to build offices across the 6 states and federation. So if we don't see like all of those capacity and investment to make people to begin to like have a third alternative, a third force they can believe in, well, I am trying to also say that perhaps all of the funding may not need to come from them. They should be able to sell out also the ideologies, the ideas behind this party. And many Nigerians who have been yearning for change can actually see ways to support this party. And when that is done, when there is enough financing, when there is enough mobilization and awareness, I tell you, nothing stops it from being the third force.
Well,
even as much as a PDP, let me mention this because it's very important. PDP has failed woefully in its responsibility as a viable opposition. We don't have an opposition, and that is why APC will keep borrowing, keep pushing the nation from one level of disunity to another, and there is no dissenting voice to really challenge all of its policies, which is taking the country down the drains. I mean, PDP should wake up.
It was quite personal that you brought up the issue about PDP and its stance or its status as opposition, or perhaps it's what you said is failed status as opposition in Nigeria. Perhaps that's why we're not having this Rescue Nigeria project with the likes of Tommy and Jega involved. But Chukuma, seriously, can they really provide that third force you're talking about, this opposition, alternative opposition for Nigerians, or is it too late? Because many Nigerians will say, well, as far as we're concerned, we can follow the likes of the latest cross-carpeting as we saw between PDP and APC, and vice versa, and that's the political stance going forward.
Honestly, it is very, very possible. A third force is possible. The thing I've seen the mistake, even when the likes of Professor Pat formed the NCF, the National Common Front Movement or something like that. The problem, one of the major issues they had was the issue of funding. They were ready to roll with some of the programs they drafted. But funding is very important. Politics must be seen as a sector. It must be seen as a nation. Imagine a nation trying to run without any finance, without having an economy. It doesn't just work. When you talk about strong nations today, one of the things you consider, you talk about economy, foreign policy, and of course, before you talk about military power, right? So economic power is very, very important. You want to emerge a strong force, you can't leave out the issue of economy.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see how it all goes, Chukuma, because seriously, we look at the events from last week of the new switching, especially from Fani Kayode. You ask yourself, how much of a rescue can this new project give for Nigeria? But thank you so much once again, Chukuma Okenwa, for your time on Breakfast Political Analyst right here on the program.
Thank you.